got that second goal, you really had your hands on the cup at that stage. You were willing the game to just be over at that stage. What were your feelings in the final couple of minutes?
I suppose I just remember right near the end, I looked up and I saw it glint on the cup, and I said, "Oh, I could be collecting that." But then I think I got a bang from someone. I said, "I better forget about that for a while." But I don't think. I think it was just when the final whistle went, it was just saying like we've won it. So it wasn't. I don't think we were counting our chickens. Not with Maurice Fitzgerald or Seamus Minor or Jack O'Shea playing. So. We couldn't really say you've Kerry beaten until the final whistle went. So.
Do you remember what you did, I suppose, when the final whistle went? Did you go to any particular players, or did you meet anyone particularly on the pitch that stays in your memory?
Well, what stays in my memory is that Paddy Russell, the referee, gave me the ball and then blew the whistle. So I had the ball, and then I must think half of Doonbeg must have been on top of me then, because I don't know how to get on so quickly. But I don't think I even saw any of the players until it was time to receive the cup. But there was such a big crowd, from all of West Clare, and the people coming on congratulating you were the lads from Quilty and Kilkee and those lads who were trying to kill us the week before or the year before. So in fairness, the whole lot of West Clare were behind us, and East Clare as well. Met a lot of lads they had travelled in, but I think there was 25,000 there. But if you talk to anyone now, there might have been 100,000 there. So the whole of Clare happened to be at the game, but it was a great occasion for the county.
And of course, you still have that football as well.
I do. Lucky enough, I have it, and
not telling us where it is though.
It's over at home there, but it hasn't been kicked since anyway. That's all I can tell you.
Maybe there's just to pump it up, I suppose. But in terms, while we were talking about getting your hands on the cup, somebody got lost with the cup in Quinn, I understand. Is there any light to be shed on that this evening? It wasn't yourself, Francis. You'd know your way around Quinn Abbey or Porrick. No ideas who the culprits were.
The first I heard of that anyway.
Well, we were in the car with Noel Normal and Pat Blake, and at that time we all travelled together in our own cars, so the traffic was just crazy coming back to Innis. So Noel Normal said he knew the way, but he didn't. So we asked this fella on the road, and the cup, I was in the back there and the cup was down on the floor, and he said, "Oh, you go drive up here and you'll be alright." And he said, "Lads, we at the game?" I said, "Yeah, we were." And the boys were smiling. He said, "I didn't think they'd win." I said, the lads said, "We didn't think they'd win either." So you might have the clue who we were, but sure, it didn't matter to us. But
you didn't pass that way ever again, just to show him the cup a second time?
No. It just didn't make too much of a big deal. Like it was new to us, like to win a Munster title. But that's just one of those stories, I suppose.
As Porrick just turning to obviously the Dublin semi-final, who you played a few weeks later, what was it like going to Croke Park for the first time for a lot of those players? I mean, had many of the squad ever played or even been to that part of Dublin before?
I'd say most fellas were at All-Ireland finals in the previous years. I was at the Down Meet All-Ireland. That was maybe 2 or 3 years before that. And that was the last time I was there, and we were there ourselves that day. But I don't think anything would have prepared us for the reception we got when we were coming out onto the field. That was for all, like, there was a massive Clare crowd who went to that game, and it was the first time that Clare people really got the chance to welcome a team out in Croke Park, and I think the team really appreciated it.
I suppose, Francis, Anthony Daly mentioned it there in his piece, the roar from the Clare crowd, and we've heard it a few times since, any time. But what was it like running out under the tunnel for the first time ever in Croke Park? Was it hard to imagine it was as big, or was it the biggest field you ever had played in?
I suppose it was, but the dressing rooms weren't great that time, so we were used to better dressing rooms in Cusick Park, really. But running out onto the field, I suppose there was no announcement that they were coming out, but you just see that there's a stand erupting in the saffron and blue and the big Martin Donnelly flag, and it was a big buzz then. And then I suppose the Dubs actually bring their own colour to it as well, so their own kind of different atmosphere than we've been used to.
And every time you've been in Croke Park since, is it something that you remember that you think, I was one of those players running out from under, was it the Cusick or the Hogan stand at that time? And just, it recalls the memories every time that you're there.
Yeah, well, Croke Park has changed now so much, really, but we're still on the ground itself. So it is a memory, and as I said, the hurlers went on and lifted their Ireland, and it's just a pity that the Clare footballers haven't been back there since, really.
No, Porrick, there's only one thing I have to ask you about that Dublin game, and that's that goal. I'm sure you've been asked about it plenty of times. 1, why was it disallowed? And 2, are you still scratching your head over it?
Oh, no, I'm not. Sure, look, that's the way things go. Sometimes they go for you and sometimes they go against you. It was probably crucial on the day. If we'd got it, we'd probably gone in ahead at half time. But whether we were good enough really to have won or not, I don't know. Dublin had everything going for them on the day. They were thereabouts with the last couple of years, always playing in Croke Park. But I suppose it was ultimate disappointment for us on the day. But we were glad as well the fact we'd performed so well on the day. It was our first time being there. If we went in there and collapsed, which could have happened as well, it would have been a total disaster completely. So we played very well. That was just a call of the referee. The biggest disappointment was the fact we didn't get back there again, and through the Munster campaigns and years afterwards, that we couldn't crack it. But the day, everyone to man really performed. I suppose Dublin got a couple of goals that were the difference between winning and losing. But the reception that Clare players got as going out in the field that day, your heart to be jumping out of your chest. And afterwards, the Clare crowd appreciated the work and effort that the footballers had put in at the time.
Now, I suppose we're talking the day before Kerry play Clare again. It's not a Munster final, but it's a hugely significant game for both teams. I suppose Kerry and Clare do have great history in matches of key importance over the last years. Francis, I suppose, how do you see tomorrow's game going? Is there a chance the 20th anniversary, maybe a few of the players are listening to this show, it might inspire them tomorrow evening?
I suppose there's always a chance, and it's great really that Clare are playing a big high-profile championship game this time of the year. So all the lads trained hard, and everybody in the county knows that they've put in equal effort as the Kerry boys. So you just can't leave anything left behind the dressing room, and they have to give it their all. But the most important thing I think is concentration earlier on, and not to panic and try and keep the cool. I suppose one of the things we had when we were playing, we had experienced lads like Noel Roach, had played Jerry Killeen. A lot of lads had experience, and that will come. The team at the moment is fairly young, but they have to concentrate and stay with Kerry. I think for the first half, if they can keep goals off the sheet in the first half, they've all to play for in the second half. But I think that's the key thing tomorrow.
Oric, if you had one piece of advice for Clare ahead of tomorrow evening's game, what would you think they need to achieve to get over the Kingdom?
Well, I think they need to keep it tight as long as they possibly can. The main thing, as Francis said, not to concede goals earlier on. You're looking for a good, solid performance for the 70 minutes, but just to try and keep it tight as long as they possibly can. They're massive underdogs. The one thing that they have, Clare have against them, in the fact that they don't seem to be able to get a decent league performance to try and get a run for a championship, whereas Kerry, are always there. But having said that, you never know on the day. Kerry will find it very, very difficult to reproduce the form they had against Tyrone. They're probably going to come up to Limerick quite dead, but they have so much class and ability. They're going to be very hard to topple. But Clare just need to hang on in there.
Now, lads, finally, it's 20 years. Have you bought a drink in Doonbeg since you won that Munster title?
Regularly.
I don't drink.
No problem. Francis McInerney and Pádraig Conway, put your hands together. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for that. We'll get the view of Kerry, of course, next. Mickey Ned O'Sullivan, the Kerry manager at the time, will be joining us just after the break.